first artificial satellite, Sputnik 1, the first animal in space, the dog Laika, the first man to travel to space, Yuri Gagarin, the first woman in space, Valentina Tereshkova, the first person to ever do a spacewalk was Alexei Leonov, and the very first space station, the Salyut 1. Do you know what they all have in common? Right, they are all Russian. The Soviets have been leaders in space exploration for a very long time now, and their achievements are worthy of being remembered and recounted. In this program, which is the third and last in our series on the theme of space exploration, we shall focus on the Russian space conquest. To commemorate the 85th birth anniversary of Yuri Gagarin, the very first man to have traveled to space, the Rajiv Gandhi Science Center launched an exhibition at the end of last year entitled "Fly Me into Space," recounting the conquest of space by the Russians. Dr. Molu, director of the Rajiv Gandhi Science Center, will give us some background on this exhibition, followed by Mr. Rangu, who together with his team prepared their exhibition that you can still visit until the end of April this year at the Rajiv Gandhi Science Center.
Rajiv Gandhi Science Center is commemorating its 15th anniversary of opening, in fact on the 30th of November. So 15 years seems a long time, and every special milestone we do mark it by some special events. And this year, lots of activities have been dedicated to space. For example, the International Astronomical Union is celebrating its 100 years this year. And in July itself at the Rajiv Gandhi Science Center, we commemorated the 50th year of the first man landing on the moon. The 85th birth anniversary of Yuri Gagarin, I think he was born in March, we are celebrating his 85th birth anniversary. And why not commemorating it for an exhibition? This is a whole gist of this exhibition. We had tremendous support from the Russian embassy, and they were willing also to support Rajiv Gandhi Science Center in this endeavor. Following the successful International Year of Periodic Table exhibition, the father of the periodic table is again a Russian, Mendeleev. So in the same context, they were very impressed by our high quality and professionalism at the Rajiv Gandhi Science Center. They were interested to fully support this event. And this is how this exhibition came into light, Fly Me into Space. Besides the exhibition, which is a core objective of this context, it's going to stay here for a while until 12 April 2020. It will be at the Rajiv Gandhi Science Center, and then after we'll be going to travel to many institutions around Mauritius, including schools. This year we are very pleased and extremely surprised that the Russian embassy has been able to bring a living legend to Rajiv Gandhi Science Center in the name of Sergei Avdeyev. He is a cosmonaut who has many records to his name, and we are proud he is with us to launch this exhibition, to interact with the public, with students, and to answer many of our doubts, our unclarified questions that we always had. What is space? What does it look like? What do they do on a station? And so on and so forth. So this is one of the milestones of this event.
For the 85th birth anniversary of the legendary cosmonaut Yuri Gagarin, the Rajiv Gandhi Science Center is setting up a new exhibition entitled "Fly Me into Space." This exhibition showcases the various facets and landmarks of the Russian space exploration. Now, the Soviets are credited for major accomplishment in space flight. For example, Yuri Gagarin in 1961, more precisely in 12 April 1961, became the first man to travel into space. This landmark achievement is not only something very fundamental in science and technology, but ushered a new era of space exploration. Now, we have got lots of accomplishment made by the Russian. For example, the first satellite to go into space was Sputnik 1 in 1957. The first woman was again a Russian, and the first man to walk into space was Leonov, again a Russian. So you have got a lots of achievement by the Soviets. You can see that in this exhibition we will have the Mir space station, we have got rockets like Vostoks and many other things related to space. There are many pictures that we have incorporated in this exhibition. These pictures were taken by our Mauritian compatriot, Mr. Axel Rumoli. He went to Russia, more precisely to the Tchaikovsky State Museum of History of Cosmonautic, where he had got the privilege to photograph the incredible collection there regarding the Soviet space exploration. So some of the photographs are being displayed in this exhibition.
He has traveled to space 3 times, has spent more than 740 days in low Earth orbit on board of the Mir space station, and he has orbited the Earth no less than 11,968 times. He is Dr. Sergei Avdeyev, a former Russian cosmonaut. We had the immense privilege of meeting with him, and he shared with us some of his incredible experience as a cosmonaut.
I am civilian cosmonaut. I am physicist. I graduated from Moscow Engineering Physical Institute, nuclear physics, experimental nuclear physics. And when I began work like engineer in Russian Space Corporation Energy, it named now like that, we began investigate physics, but not only on the Earth, on accelerator and so on, but also in universe, I can say, to study, to looking for stars and try to understand high-level physics, what's happened in different stars in the universe. And on this way, I became a cosmonaut. I have 3 flights, space 3 flights. Every flight was made by me in Mir space station. It was Russian space station, which was built in Soviet Union in 1986, and finished Explorer at 2001. After that, we began and now Explorer International Space Station, and my flights, every flights in 3 flights to Mir space station, expedition number 12, 20, and the last flight continue 1 year, 2 weeks, both expedition, 26, 27. That's very shortly. Для того, чтобы ответить полностью на ваш вопрос, я буду говорить на русском языке.
In order for me to answer to your question about the feeling of how is it being in space, I will use Russian language. And to add something material to my words, this is an exhibition of objects which I've took in the space station with me. So you can see also the material evidence.
В космосе либо сделали здесь.
The cosmic era began from the first flight of Mr. Gagarin. The exhibition today in the Rajiv Gandhi Science Center is dedicated fully to his 85th anniversary of birth.
Алекс Рухамоли добавил сюда даже фильм.
Our friend Axel Ruhamoli, a Mauritian photographer, he has added also to the exhibition a documentary film on Yuri Gagarin, which explains how does it feel and how can a man spend about 100 minutes in space.
Когда летал Гагарин.
I started cosmic flights in the 90s. The first flight was 6 months.
Полгода. Я летал
I
вместе
was flying with the French cosmonaut Mr. Michel Tanini.
с Мишелем Танини. Второй полет.
The second flight was 6 months long also with the German cosmonaut Mr. Reiter.
Третий полет длился
The third flight was 748 days long with a Slovak cosmonaut and also with a French cosmonaut Jean-Pierre Honoré.
в сумме полетов 748 суток. Результат первого
The
полета.
result of the first flight is the medal of the hero of the Russian Federation. Another sign, the pilot cosmonaut, honored pilot cosmonaut of the Russian Federation.
Начинал я полеты вместе
I started my flight with the French cosmonaut Michel Tonini, and I ended my third flight with the French cosmonaut Jean-Pierre Honoré, and as a result I received an award of the Chevalier d'honneur de la Légion de France.
Почетного легиона Франции. Он представлял
I represented the cosmic agency of Italy, Germany, France, and other countries. The second one was a unique flight because a foreign cosmonaut worked with the Soviet cosmonauts the whole period of the flight.
вместе с нами. Здесь, находясь в Маврикии,
And here in Mauritius, just by chance, I met the Italian engineer who was also working in the cosmic agency many years ago.
он итальянец, сейчас приехал сюда. То есть я на все.
So in total, for the 748 days, I can tell you, I reminded each of these days because all of them I remember very well.
Больше всего в каждый из этих 748 дней. Тогда, когда
At the time when the Yuri Gagarin, the first Soviet cosmonaut, went to space, at this time only two countries could afford and had the capacity to do these space researches.
прошло с 1900
From 1961, not a lot of time has passed, not even 100 years.
еще даже 100 лет не прошло пока. Но прошло совершенно немного времени, чуть больше 10 лет.
But only about 10 years has passed, and then a joint mission Apollo had took place, and the cosmonauts of the two countries shake their hands.
Друг другу руки, соединившись вместе. Я все свои полеты совершил со всеми.
In all of my flights, there was a participation of a foreign cosmonaut like from French, Slovakia, Germany, and other countries of Europe.
Дублер, Словакия, опять Франция. Сейчас мы летаем на...
Now we're flying on an international space station where the 5 partners are working together. It's the Russia, it's Germany, Japan, the Europe, and a lot of countries are working together.
То есть мы
We
должны...
need to be based on what we have right now, a positive cooperation, and to keep this safe.
Все больше и больше стран присоединяются.
More and more countries are now into space, and we hope that Mauritius in some time will be more closer to working in space also.
Самостоятельно и глубоко участвовать. И, может быть, морякийский
And maybe a Mauritian cosmonaut one day will answer more detailedly on your question about the future of cosmos.
что мы ждем в космосе дальше.
During my visit in Mauritius, we have met with children from different schools and lyceums, like École du Nord and Lycée La Bourdonnais.
В одном из лицеев несколько лет тому назад, когда
A couple of years ago, some schools all over the world, including Reunion Island, have manufactured on a school level a satellite.
школьного спутника школьники, подчеркиваю, школьники, не
School children from Reunion Island and from one of the regions of Russia have made together a satellite.
в России сделали.
This satellite was greeted by Mr. Avdeyev on the space station Mir.
Я
I took the satellite in the open space and threw it in the space.
и выбросил его в открытый космос.
About 1.5 months, the satellite was turning around the world. And all school children who were participating in the launching of the satellite could hear the signal of the satellite, also their voices from space.
На маленькие радиостанции. Я хочу обращаться
In my address to the Mauritian young people, I want to say that as from the first flight of Mr. Yuri Gagarin, the road to the stars is open, and now even Mauritian children, not only adults but also children, can somehow participate in this unusual, magnificent field of knowledge.
даже школьников.
There is a Russian proverb saying that we need to always try to keep the efforts and to enjoy the work.
This is a fun fact, especially for our younger viewers. When we talk about space exploration, we often talk about astronauts and cosmonauts. Do you know what is the difference between an astronaut and a cosmonaut? These are actually two different titles given to people who travel to space, given by different space agencies. For example, if you travel to space with the Russian Space Agency, you are given the title Cosmonaut. However, if you travel to space with the NASA or the European Space Agency, then you're called an astronaut. While scientists are exploring the universe and building new tools to better understand the world, it sometimes requires the unconventional and creative perspective of an artist to help us better appreciate the work of scientists. One such example is the current exhibition at the Rajiv Gandhi Science Center. The exquisite pictures of space artifacts from the Museum of Cosmonautics from Kaluga, Russia, have been taken by Mauritian expert art photographer Axel Roumali. Let us appreciate some of these pictures while we have a chat with the artist himself.
Au moment où on fêtait et on célébrait le 50e anniversaire du premier pas de l'homme sur la Lune, moi j'avais envie de raconter toutes les autres premières fois. La première fois où l'homme a été dans l'espace, bien évidemment Yuri Gagarin, le 12 avril 1961. La première femme dans l'espace, Valentina Tereshkova. Le premier satellite artificiel, Sputnik, la première sortie extravéhiculaire. En fait, je voulais parler de toutes ces autres premières fois qui font que la Russie a été pionnière dans l'histoire de la conquête spatiale. Donc aujourd'hui, j'ai eu la chance, grâce à l'intervention de l'ambassade de Russie à Maurice, de pouvoir rentrer en contact avec le berceau, en tout cas le musée qui est dans le berceau de l'astronautique, et qui est le musée Tsiolkovsky. Alors un nom qui vous dit peut-être pas grand-chose, mais Tsiolkovsky, c'est ce que j'appelle moi le Léonard de Vinci russe, parce que c'est lui qui, il y a presque un siècle, a permis qu'aujourd'hui on puisse voyager hors de l'atmosphère, et c'est lui qui a créé le concept et le principe des étages dans les fusées. Donc aujourd'hui, ce musée Tsiolkovsky, il est particulier parce qu'il a été inauguré par Gagarine en 1961, quelques semaines après son vol, et ce musée contient des pièces complètement incroyables, des pièces originales de capsules comme Vostok 5, comme des combinaisons Orlan, qui sont des combinaisons qui permettent aux cosmonautes de travailler en dehors de la capsule. Voilà, et donc j'ai eu cette grande chance, grâce à l'équipe du musée Tsiolkovsky, de pouvoir mettre en lumière, avec une technique très particulière d'éclairage, d'ombre et de lumière, ces pièces de collection qui ont été exposées en Russie et qu'aujourd'hui je suis fier de pouvoir présenter au public mauricien au travers de cette exposition qui s'appelle Fly Me into Space, avec un ambassadeur d'exception, le cosmonaute Sergei Avdiev.
Still in the context of the celebration of the 85th birth anniversary of Yuri Gagarin, the first man to have traveled to space, the visiting cosmonaut Dr. Sergei Avdiev held a conference during which some school students were able to ask him some questions. Let us see what the cosmonaut had to share with them.
How are selected the people who go in space?
Now we have open answer for it. You can use Roscosmos website and Gagarin Space Center training. Everything you can read in different language. It is not so easy. Of course, it's more easy when it was for Gagarin, but it is not so absolutely easy. You need a good health, you need a good education, you need and so on. You can open this website and find out answer.
Could you please describe a typical day of a cosmonaut for us?
It depends of what are you doing. If you start launching, what are own schedule. When you start, what does it mean? For example, 526 seconds. What does it mean? Every cosmonaut who used this rocket, this spacecraft, knows about it. That means 526 seconds is it necessary to go to space. If your rocket worked 520 seconds, it is not enough, you back to the Earth. If your rocket will work 229 seconds, it means you can go to the moon. And so on. And our regular day regulated by this 529 seconds. Doesn't matter when you launch, or at the morning, or the evening, dark night, doesn't matter. When you have ordinary day in space, in Mir Space Station, for example, International Space Station total, you have ordinary day like here on the Earth. Wake up at 7 o'clock, eating, toilet, so on, began walking, some investigation like in your laboratory here on the Earth, afterward dinner. But what's the difference? Before dinner, every day, and lunch, every day, you spend every day, you spend 1 hour for physical training, or running, or bicycle, or I don't know. Every day you spend at least, it means twice per day, each time, 1 hour for physical exercise. Afterward began work, dinner, work, afterward once more physical exercise, afterward once more eating, and afterward you need to prepare the next working day, to find out device, to adjust it and so on for preparation to the next working day. Only Sunday you have a real free time. You can read a book, listen music, looking for a movie. If you have and can play guitar, you can play guitar or violin or some musical instruments. You can talking, you can writing something. That's the ordinary flight in space station.
When you were in space, what did you miss most about the Earth? And now that you're back on Earth, what do you miss most about space?
When I'm in space, I need a gravity. When I'm on the Earth, I need zero gravity.
In space, we have like extreme radiation exposure. And what are the most challenges you face by the time you're in space in terms of radiation exposure?
Who knows what altitude of our flight from the of about 300-400 kilometers, but where no exist atmosphere. This atmosphere stopped the radiation. Radiation from the sun, from universe, different kind, absolutely different kind. But inside our spacecraft, Gagarin and so on, myself, we can feel it, this space radiation. Not only feel, but even see, look. When you close the eyes, your eyes, take a time, maybe a few minutes, switch off light, you can really look with space radiation. Some tracks, some fire, something else, which vision produced this radiation. And everybody knows, even not physics, that radiation with very strong stop to go people, human, animals, everything, to go far from Earth. 1 year, it's enough, more or less. But 2 years, I don't know. And what we should do? First of all, we try to have some защита, shield from this radiation. But now our calculation, it's very, very huge. It looks like this spacecraft should be small Earth. Magnetic fields, atmosphere, like not atmosphere, but maybe water, which can stop this radiation, and so on. Still now, this is the open question. Welcome, please.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for
I hope that you enjoyed watching our plasma programs dedicated to the theme of space exploration. We have shown to you how we are entering a new space age, where different nations are now looking towards space to try and find solutions to environmental and even economic issues. And we have also seen that Mauritius, even though being a small island nation, is also readying itself technologically for this new era of space exploration. This world is full of challenges and promises. Scientists from various fields are hard at work to enhance our lives to overcome these challenges. Through the Plasma program, we hope to give you a glimpse of this wonderful world of science and scientists in Mauritius and beyond.